Bé, bon vespre a tothom, regidors, regidores, comissionada.
Good evening, everyone.
Guanyador del Premi Pepe
Councillors,
Carvalho
Commissioner,
d'enguany,
Mick Heron,
Carlos
who is the
Sanon,
person
comissari del
awarded,
Montenegre,
Carlos Sinon
festival que enguany
of
fa la
the
seva
committee,
20ena
and the
edició,
festival
membres
now
del
in
jurat,
its 20th
família de
edition,
l'estimat i enyorat
members of the
Manolo
jury
Vázquez Montalbán,
and relatives of
consellers,
the very
gràcies per ser
beloved
aquí.
Vázquez Montalbán, thank you very much for being here.
Amics i amigues,
Dear
benvinguts al
friends,
Saló de 100
welcome
i
to
benvinguts
the
al lliurament del
room, to the
Premi
hall of the 100,
que des del
and to this
2006
award
il·lumina
ceremony.
el Festival
Since
Barcelona
2006,
Negra,
it is the
o
beacon
Negra.
of the
Com a
Barcelona
fanal del cartell
Noir
d'aquesta edició,
Festival,
que posa llum a la
and
foscor i a
as,
la mala
well,
vida que
something
aquest any reivindica el programa
lighting
del festival.
darkness
Una
and
bona
also
mala vida,
enlightening us all
la que
about a
triem
bad life, the
i que ens
good
fa
bad
sentir
life
vius.
that makes us
Avui,
feel
com no podria ser
alive.
d'una altra manera,
So today, as could
premiem
not be any other
un
way,
novel·lista que
we
ha
are
retratat
actually awarding,
aquesta
giving an
mala
award
vida.
to a novelist who has been
Perquè hi ha
portraying this
escriptors i
bad
escriptores
life in
que
inverted
creen
commas.
herois
He has
i
created
d'altres, molt
fiction,
pocs, que creen
and he
mites.
has created, well,
I n'hi ha,
persons
i per
in
mi us
his
confesso que
novels,
són els
because some
millors,
people write about
que són
myths
capaços
and
de
about
crear personatges en els que
heroes,
acabes
but
tenint
there are writers, and
una
those are my
vinculació
favorite, I
molt
have to
propera.
share that with you, that create
Personatges que t'arriben a l'ànima
characters that are very
perquè fan
close,
olor a
characters that
realitat.
really feel
Mick Heron,
real.
el flamant
Mick Heron
Premi Pepe Carvalho d'enguany és, sens
is
dubte,
the Pepe
un d'aquests
Carvalho
últims. En la seva
award
obra,
this year, and he is
l'espionatge deixa
definitely
de ser un territori
there
glamurós
with
per
his
convertir-se
work.
en allò que probablement
Spy
sempre ha
novels
estat,
are much
una
more and
combinació de
much closer.
burocràcia,
It's a
errors
combination
humans,
of red tape,
joc de
human
poder,
mistakes,
veritats a
errors,
mitges
power
i
games,
mentides mal explicades.
lies, and badly
Heron no
explained
escriu sobre atractius
situations,
espies que
because Mick
salven el
Heron
món,
doesn't write about
sempre
attractive
al darrer
spies
segon.
saving the world
Ell
at the very
escriu sobre
last
espies
minute.
que intenten
He writes
sobreviure al
about
sistema
spies
que
that
els ha
try to
creat
survive the
i
system
després
that created
els ha
them
atrapat
and
discretament.
that eventually
Al centre
captured
del seu
them.
univers literari,
In the very center of his
brut,
literary
groller,
universe,
cínic,
we have,
ofensiu,
this
fins i tot
offensive
desagradable.
sometimes, uncouth, even
Hi trobem
unpleasant
Jackson Lamb, un
character,
personatge que sembla
Jackson Lamb.
concebut
He's
per
a character
provocar
that
un
seems
rebuig
to have been
immediat.
conceived to make
El
people
propi
feel
autor
immediate
ens
rejection.
va presentar
The
fa uns
author
anys el seu
himself, Mick Heron,
personatge amb
introduced
aquestes
some years ago
paraules.
his character with these words.
Jackson Lamb feia olor de
Jackson
menjar
Lamb
ràpid
eh,
i beguda barata.
was fast food and cheap
És, però,
drink.
l'eina narrativa que
That's
permet a Heron
what you could smell on
fer
him.
de la
But
seva
anyway, that
obra un
allows
elogi del perdedor lúcid
Mick
i
to
una
actually
reflexió sobre
talk to
l'heroi
us and
incòmode.
share with us the thoughts about a
Jackson
not
Lamb no
comfortable
creu en els
hero.
relats oficials i
Jackson
desconfia
Lamb
del poder
doesn't believe
i
in
de les
official
paraules.
narratives, and he
Tots dos
mistrusts
caminen,
power and great
literal i
words.
moralment, pels
And
marges.
it is life at the
Tots dos
margins,
saben que la
really.
veritat viu als carrers
So
secundaris
we
i
know
als
then that
despatxos
reality lives in
mal
those side
il·luminats.
streets and in poorly lit
Si Carvalho
offices.
llegia Barcelona
If
com un mapa
Carvalho
polític i emocional
used to
del
read
port a la
Barcelona as a
vidriera,
political and
de la
emotional
memòria
map
al desencant,
that had to do with memory and disenchantment,
llegeix Londres amb la
Lamb
mateixa
reads London
lucidesa crítica.
in the same
Canvien els
dispassionate,
escenaris,
critical,
el clima,
smart way. The
el
scenarios
menjar,
change, the
la banda
climate, the
sonora, però
cuisine,
la crítica
even
és
the sound
la
and the
mateixa.
music, but the criticism and the
Amb
interpretation is the
aquesta
same one.
distància escèptica,
So
però
with
alhora
this
generosa, que
aseptic,
també
very generous
va
distance
caracteritzar l'obra
that
de Manolo Vázquez
also
Montalbán.
defined Manolo
Mick
Vázquez
Heron ha
Montalbán's
sabut actualitzar la novel·la negra
work.
i
Mick Heron has
d'espionatge
known how to
d'humor i
update
una mirada profundament
spy novels,
política,
crime
però
thrillers
mai
with humor, with a
moralista.
political
El
standpoint,
seu
but
és un estil
never
narratiu
based
molt
on a
identificable.
moralistic attitude.
Prosa
So
àgil i
he writes,
precisa,
it's agile
diàlegs
prose,
brillants,
it's accurate,
descripcions breus però
brilliant
molt
at
visuals
times, brief
i un gran
descriptions that are
domini
very
del
visual,
ritme i
and
del
an
suspens.
incredible
Els seus
mastery of
llibres fan
rhythm
riure,
and time.
sovint a
His books
contracor,
make us
i
laugh
alhora
even when we don't
incomode.
want to laugh, but at the same
Per
time,
tot això,
they make us feel uncomfortable,
perquè la
but
seva obra
there.
dialoga de
And
manera
for all of
natural
this, and because his work
amb l'esperit
dialogues in a
crític,
natural way with a
irònic
critical spirit
i
and with
radical,
irony, and also
radicalment
with
literari
a
de Vázquez
radical
Montalbán,
literary feeling so
un
close to
esperit que
Vázquez
a Barcelona
Montalbán, this
no
is a
només
spirit that in
reconeixem,
Barcelona,
sinó que
not only do we
reivindiquem,
acknowledge,
que
but
és
we
un honor
legitimately
tenir avui amb
say
nosaltres
it's an honor.
a
And
Mick
so it's an honor
Heron.
for us to have Mick Heron
On
with
behalf
us
of
today.
the City Council, Mr. Heron, and on behalf also of all the crime novel lovers, congratulations. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, everyone. You are very welcome to this award ceremony of the 21st Pepe Carvalho Award that acknowledges the Oxford resident British writer Mick Herron. We want to welcome the persons following this online through BTV and also the municipal streaming service. So the award now acknowledges one of the best noir fictions. And in fact, not so long ago, the writing has become a TV series that's very, very successful and has great actors. So Mick Herron, considered one of the most relevant literary voices in contemporary thriller and mystery, Herron's incursion in the world of espionage has become the clear will, as the mayor was saying, of committed critique to contemporary times. All this taken together has made him worth of the Pepe Carvalho Award, but he has also been awarded with a number of prestigious awards, Gold Dagger 2013, of the Crime Writers Association for the Deadlines novel, amongst others. As you know, in this ceremony, the Pepe Carvalho Award, it's a highly celebrated and important event of this polyedric festival, the Noir Barcelona. It is a unique meeting, and it happens every year. It has to be seen as an asset and part of the heritage of Barcelona. And, well, as you know, we have a number of activities organized up to Sunday. Before we focus on our beloved winner, we have to talk about this award that is so inspired in Barcelona and so inspired in our very dear Manolo Vázquez Montalbán. It's a Barcelona award, but has an international vocation, as can be seen by the names of the previous 20 persons that received the award. Let's go over this with a video that we prepared for you to sum up these 20 previous years. So we have remembered them all, and now, yes, we're going to go and zoom in into Mick Herron and sum up the trajectory through our commissioner, Carlos Zanon. Thank you, dear Mayor of Barcelona, Jaume Collboni, the Commissioner as well for Culture. Good afternoon. Thank you. Thank you for being here once again in this Hall of the 100. Well, I myself and the members of the jury in the Pepe Carvalho Award are very happy that you are all here with us. Before I begin, I would also like to have a moment to say thank you to all the authors authors, writers, institutions, libraries, reading books, bookshops, to the Institute of Culture, all these people who help us to organize and make a success of this festival year in and year out. And I also like to highlight something, as I'm the person in charge of being the engine of this mission, of this literary award. I have to say thank you because it's an honor, but I have to publicly say thank you. My colleagues really helped me. I have all these different departments at the Institute of Culture of the City Council and my colleagues as well, because they help all the time, and it's work as a team. Our mayor has just said that he talked about this mala vida, this bad life of thriller characters or of noir characters, and we have tried to give our own explanation of what we think is a mala vida or bad life. A bad life is, or a very bad life is a boring life with no mistakes, easy to foresee, anticipate, very placid, too peaceful, decided by others, be it an algorithm or a cluster, or, well, a life when we are told if you're very cautious, nothing will happen to you. Well, the bad life, the mala vida for us, is amusing, fun, with mistakes, consequences, with faux pas, with expectations that are not happening, and things that you sometimes encounter without looking for them. And as the song would say, maybe this life was not what you wanted, but yes, what you needed. So the Cheshire Cat in Alice says that the power of words, and who has the power on words has the real power. And I think that too many words and flags have been stolen from us, and it's time to get them back again. When I was a teenager, and this is something, an experience I've shared with many of you, I was very attracted by culture that, at home we didn't have that culture because it really wasn't adequate. My parents were not happy about that kind of culture. They thought it wasn't good for the future. They thought it was uncomfortable, and they thought that people would say, words that were empty. They didn't understand seeking beauty and pain and the truth of art. But I have to say, yes, I lived through songs and films and authors and books. So, yes, we think now that it's time to get words and flags back, because they are more fun than them, and you know who they are, and you know who we referring to, these are the characters, essential, these people who do exist more than anyone else, and that's why we're giving the award to Mick Harron this year. This Pepe Carvalho award goes to Mick Harron. Why? For so many reasons. We have to remember, right? I mean, what happens when you meet a writer? I do, by the way, remember the first time I read Mick Harron. We had our friend Anik who gave me one edition. I got home, I had told my family that I would make supper. I had told them I would go to the supermarket and cook. I thought it was rather early, so I took the book and started reading. And I of course, sat on the sofa, and then, I started with the book, and I had been reading 100 pages when I heard the key at the door, and I realized it was too late to get supper ready. I just hadn't been able to put the book down, and that night we had to call to get some pizza for supper. Anyway, in the same way as, that impact of Stieg Larsson 30 years ago, and I'm saying it because now, as you know, there's a fashion again. Well, I think that the subgenre of spies within noir genre has in Mick the kind of great bomb, so to speak, because really his novels have to do with spies, and it's true that his world and geopolitics, makes it even more interesting. But what we think is that Mick Harron's work is about spies, but it's much more than that, The subjects of his novels are very well built and organized, and they never lose this mission of entertaining, of being a fantastic excuse, of being able to talk about what it is that's happening to us all. Why do we feel the way we feel in this difficult life where technology is all pervading and where technology doesn't let us even think? But when you read Mick Herron, and of course it's easy to forget to make supper, you forget everything because you go and all of a sudden you think about colonialism, about history, about the deaths of our parents, of solitude, emptiness, ghosts, building communities. Herron is especially a marvelous writer of characters. He describes his characters in such a way that they come out of the book, and he is obsessed in making characters do what they have to do, assuming all their defects, all their pain, all the questions and question marks that make them not be perfect, not be the perfect spies, but he makes his characters so human. He tells us about a world in which high technology, bureaucracy, and the negative selection of posts have in fact defined an explosive cocktail. So if in the world sometimes we have the impression that we are governed by psychopaths, well, this is because they have given up humanity and community, and that's why Jackson Lamb as a character and all those with Jackson Lamb eventually fix what bureaucracy and coldness breaks. It's these broken toys that live in Herron's novels, and it makes kind of so fantastic. That's why it's so great to read Mick, because of his sense of humor as well, his literary commitment too. He's always there, he's solid, he's there, he's a rock. And despite that, we have Carvalho, who, and definitely Jackson Lamb would not have dinner at the same restaurant, very possibly. What is true, however, is that they both coincide in what Hemingway said. A man might be destroyed, but never vanquished. And it's necessary to get up time and time again and to keep going forward, because we are what we are. And so when we have inhuman power, it is important that we continue. And as Jackson Lamb does, we survive in the best possible way. Thank you, Mick Herron, for making us feel so much, for making us feeling part of Jackson Lamb and all the people surrounding him. And we are so happy. And as is the case of Pepe Carvalho being ours in Barcelona, we hope now that we are part of your world. So thank you so much. Thank you, Carlas Zanon. It's wonderful to listen to you. How wonderful, yes, Herron, pizza. Well, now we have to motivate, yes. And how will this happen? Well, reading the verdict of the jury, telling us about Mick Herron's trajectory, and we have now Dani Melo speaking on behalf of the jury. Good afternoon. Yes, let us go along to the Pepe Carvalho Award for 2026. The jury meeting on October the 17th, 2025, with Carlos Zanon as the president, Marta Marle, Alex Martin, Olga Merino, Dani Melo, Daniel Vázquez have decided to give the Pepe Carvalho 2026 award to the writer Mick Herron, a writer that the authors love. He has won the prestigious Gold Dagger Award and Ian Fleming Award of the Crime Writers Associations, and he started in a genre in 2003 with a series of novels happening in Oxford, where he lives, and with the protagonist, this private detective Joe. After 4 novels in 2010, he started with Slow Horses, with Jackson Lamb, spy and head of spies of the place where those broken toys are, of the M15, and agents paying for previous mistakes, or maybe because they're too slow, or because they've been punished, or because they've been made slaves of their own vices and weaknesses. Mick Herron got to the genre without asking permission or without doubts, and he built a world in which we have parody and fiction that unites entertainment, escapism, and also a clear criticism of current-day society and this crazy race of bureaucracy and stupidity that define our times. But all this with that incredible British fragrance of wet grass, fitted carpet, warm beer in comfortable pubs, and also imperial dreams, also certain smells and rain that's 100% the rain of London. So congratulations. Thank you, Danny. Yes, we are in the Heron universe. And yes, now we shall award the prize. This is being given by the Mayor of Barcelona, Jaume Collboni. And after this, we will be listening to Mick Heron. Welcome.
Whenever you're ready, the floor is yours.
Stay. Nope. Thank you. Good evening. I can barely express how delighted I am to be here at BC Negra. It's my third visit to the festival, or tell you how proud I am to receive this prize. I'm deeply grateful to all those who saw fit to present me with the Pepe Carvalho Award, and I'll treasure it always, both for what it represents and as a memento of many happy times spent in your beautiful city. Long ago, when I was a student in another beautiful city, Oxford, in England, I shared a house with fellow undergraduates, all of whom were fans of the crime genre. Our tastes ranged wide and free across the genre, from Raymond Chandler to Elmore Leonard, from Patricia Highsmith to P.D. James, who has won this award herself. And each of us liked nothing more than being the first to discover a new writer to share with the others. And I remember the excitement with which one of my housemates came home one day, wielding a copy of Murder in the Central Committee by Manuel Vázquez Montalbán. Here it was something like the Holy Grail for a bunch of lefty student thriller addicts, combining our love of the genre with an authentically left-wing viewpoint, which back then, and still now to be honest, was something of a rarity. Plus there was the food and the wine. This was back in the 1980s. Montalbán, of course, has joined the list of legendary greats since then. One of the few, if not the only, detective story writer to have a fictional detective named after him. And if the younger me had been told I would one day be holding an award with Pepe Carvalho's name on it, I would have assumed that I'd stolen it from a more worthy recipient. But here I am, and I really shouldn't be the only one standing here. No one finds a readership in a foreign language without the assistance, and indeed the collaboration, of a fine translator. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Antonio Padillo for bringing my work to Spanish readers. How he has managed to convey what I feel is a very English sense of humour, not to mention some presumably untranslatable puns, and indeed some very filthy jokes, into your language is beyond me. And he has evidently put much effort into this work. Over the past years, some fine compliments have come my way. The Guardian newspaper called me the laureate of decrepitude. The Times called me the kebab shop Le Carré. But nothing has delighted me more than Antonio calling me a right bastard, saying that translating the Slough House novels demands blood, sweat, and tears so as to render those pages comprehensible. Thank you, Antonio, for your blood, your sweat, and your tears. If the grace of the world allows it, there'll be more books to come. I'm not done being a right bastard yet. But in the meantime, I'd like to offer my heartfelt gratitude to those who've bestowed the award on me, to the organisers of the wonderful festival, which I'm enjoying so much on my third visit, and who've made me feel so welcome, To the city of Barcelona itself and its delightful mayor, home of Pepe, of course, and his author, to Claudia, Anik, and Juan Carlos, to all the journalists who've taken the time to talk to me, ask me questions, and to grill me every which way these past few days, and to the family of Senor Montalban himself, to my lovely partner Joe, who makes all things possible for me, and to all of you, new friends and old, gathered here today. This is my 4th or 5th time in Barcelona. I hope it won't be my last. Thank you very much.
Vázquez Montalbán és el fil conductor i després cadascú amb el seu accent, la seva mirada, el seu humor.
Indeed, Vázquez Montalbán is the thread, but then each one will express through different words. And now we have the wonderful words of the Pepe Carvalho 2026 award. And we have been so happy to listen to Mick Heron telling us about his feelings and also mentioning this sense of humor and being grateful as well for the good work of translation. It's great. Once again, thank you all for being here and for being interested, and please continue to participate in this festival. We'll end on Sunday, and now we'll end here with a group photograph. And thank you very much. Have a good evening. Goodbye.